Alright guys, welcome into Ion Market. This has been a crazy weekend slash Thursday, Friday, just in terms of what's been going on with announcements. I wanted to do a whole video covering Ancient Guardians because we got all of the TCG cards in that are going to be reprinted. I will try to touch on that in full detail a little bit later in the week, although I will say, not all that impressed. Even if some of the collector's rares turn out to be okay, I think they missed an opportunity to put like one or two unique cards in there that might have really helped push the set for people that aren't interested in the new archetypes. But I was kind of expecting it to be an overall lackluster set, just considering the slate of product that we have lined up later in the year, especially with King's Court. So I'll try to react to it in full, but I just wanted to at least put the facts out there. It looks like Dino Wrestler Pankratops might be a collector rare. That'll be a cool card people to chase after. It doesn't really look like much else in there is going to be a high value, high end card. Depending on, whatever they end up doing for the new cards, what gets bumped up, and really how the formats shake out. But as we know, nothing in Ancient Guardians is going to be an instant meta competitor, in any stretch of the imagination. So I don't know whether or not it's going to be game-breaking or if it's going to be Genesis Impact 2, and we should really look towards King's Court to bring us some interesting stuff. So, starting out with Ion Market today, as always, take a look at the best-selling. Nothing really new to report, but Ice Dragon's Prison continues to hold strong at $65 minimum. Doesn't seem to want to drop, despite the impending, I guess you could say likelihood of a reprint. I've gone on record and said I do think there's no way that all of the high-value cards end up making the Megatons, but I'd be surprised if Ice Dragon's Prison was one that did not make it, simply because it's an ultra-rare. It's not necessarily going to single-handedly sell a set or product on its own, and I'm a little bit scared of where it might go if it did miss the 10. So, speaking of things it could miss the 10s, Chamber Dragon meets another one, $82. Again, I know that Konami has to realize how popular Dragon Maids are among the community, or $90 lowest if you look at near mints. I don't think they let this one slip through, but stranger things have happened, and I think just in terms of what this card was for so long, to now be looking at it being this expensive, it's definitely one of the top candidates for a reprint. So let's jump into the actual video, though, taking a look at some price spikes, and then we'll take a look at a few cheap cards might be worth looking at, and finally some retro support at the end, as we usually do. Guys, if you do enjoy the video, please hit the like button and subscribe. I really do appreciate all that support. So our first one today, Vision Hero Increase. It's just continued to increase a bit more over time. The cheapest near mint is $31. We did see a hero deck top the Remote Duel Extravaganza in top 16. Obviously, the card did see representation. He was only playing one, sort of cited his reasoning is that it could be a lot of a dead draw. I always played two in my own personal builds just so that Ferris would always have a chance at being live, but I guess that does depend on preference and what you find works best for you. However, there is no real reason to think there's a reprint of this on the horizon anytime soon, so unfortunately, if you want to play the deck, it looks like you're going to be stuck paying a pretty steep price. Battles, Legend, Heroes, Revenge in general has been a set that's aged extremely well over time. We've seen Interrupted Kaiju Slumber relatively recently up to about $10. From that set, I mean, this was $1 or $2 for the longest time. It's got the super rare print from Breakers of Shadow, but the secret rare does look a lot nicer. And even then, the Breakers of Shadow one hits pretty close in terms of price comparison. So, for what that's worth, it's definitely one of those cards that it'd be good to have, but you might have missed the boat if you wanted to get into that at a cheap level. Another one from Battles of Legend Heroes Revenge that actually seems to be relatively affordable for now is High Speed Droid Kite Drake. It's basically a full board wipe or a full skill drain that can negate things. With the Synchro Strike Legendary Duelist coming out, Speedroid support, this is a card I would say keep an eye on. At this price, it's really not terrible to pick one up just in case. It needs a Wind Machine Tuner, so basically any of your Speedroids, and then the rest of it's non-specific. And if it's sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, you can also add a Speedroid monster deck to your hand. So it's got a multi-use thing. Definitely a really, really slept-on card in terms of what it can do. Obviously, Speedroid hasn't done a ton here, but there are plentiful amounts here. I know it says 34 listings, but someone's got about 26 copies, and you can get them around $5 for a bit, but it does look like it could be something that, depending on the Speedroid support, could disappear sooner rather than later, so just some food for thought. Summon Limit is also from Heroes Revenge, clocking in around $14, close to $15 realistically for the near mint. This is just a card that, like, over time you had to assume was going to go up, being that it's a really good floodgate. This is its only foil print. The, common copies definitely have some value as well, around 6 to 7. Duelist League, I mean, that's a whole weird thing on its own. I don't really know exactly how to track or estimate where Duelist League is going to end up, just due to the limited quantities and stuff, but that's another one to kind of take into consideration there. But yeah, Summon Limit looks like it's going up to just pretty high prices as far as the ultra rare is concerned, so if you have that, you might be sitting on a gold mine. And finally on Hero's Revenge for the last one today, from that one, Bls Soldier Chaos. Yes, this did get reprinted as a ghost rare. No, it doesn't seem to have mattered. $145, pretty close, is the cheapest near mint first ed. I mean, it's a good card, but I don't know that it's that good in terms of being that expensive, but I don't set the prices. I just try to report on them. I mean, occasionally set the prices on things I'm selling, but I would tell you that if you have it, it's a decent chance to sell it off. Maybe if you're willing to take a little bit of a dip, 130, 125, you might make some quick sales. I gotta imagine that this is going to get a genuine reprint sooner rather than later, but I don't know where they'd slot it in. I don't know if we're getting a Battles of Legend this year. Maybe Maximum Gold if we get another one of those. This price just continues to be, insurmountably high. And I'm not entirely sure what the reason is for it, because, like I said, it's a cool card, but it's not, completely changing the game or anything, and I think people just like it for collector purposes. Now, its counterpart, of course, pivoting over to Toon Chaos just briefly to look at a couple things. Chaos Emperor Dragon, Envoy of the End Collector Rare. First ed near mint, cheapest is about $223. There was a targeted buyout of some of the collector rares from Toon Chaos over the weekend, with Toon BLS Collector Rare, as well as Gamma, both going to the moon, as they say. House of Champs covered this on his Market Watch, but about 280 on the Gamma, and I think BLS was clocking in around 500 for first ed, or 495. So, I mean, just looking at the trends and stuff, it's not unreasonable to think that this could eventually be next. It is not good anymore in terms of playability, but it's a fan favorite card, and it is going to have a lot of collector's value for that reason. 218, I mean, it's hard to say where this might end up, but just be aware there have been targeted hits on collector rare cards, so some food for thought. Another collector rare I think is also interesting is Artemis, the Majestic Moon Maiden. This is about $65 with 99 cents shipping. Someone new, looking like they're trying to make some sales. I don't know a lot of feedback yet. Obviously, I think you're protected in terms of if you didn't get it, you could always file a claim, get a refund. But a lot of times people will just undercut the market to try and establish themselves and make some sales. So not a bad entry price. There's only 10 listings of this, and this is a really good card because Invoked plays it as a way to bypass the Almirage Secure Gardener thing, and you basically get extra deck space. So this is a neat card that just is trending upwards. Artemis, the regular version as well, about $15 from Genesis Impact, a set that's kind of starved for value. This may be worth grabbing. I would not suggest buying it out or anything of that nature, because that seems like a very losable game to play. But if you ever anticipate wanting to play any of those decks, Invoked or even Justice, I guess, I'd say maybe grab one sooner than later while you could at least have it for a relatively affordable price. And same with Leona, probably only really strong Majestic card that we've gotten. Looks like it's about 13. This has just been steadily creeping up. It was like 8 to 10 for a while. Now it's 13, kind of pushing 14. I don't know where this ends up. Time will tell. Of course, it also has a collector rare, but just something to keep an eye on in terms of, movement. I think it's a decent card. Just to give a quick shout out too. I don't know if you guys know, I've talked about it a few times. We are actually on TCG Player now. Started a storefront. I'm trying to do my very best to ensure that all of the cards we have listed are the lowest card price at the time, and for near mint conditions. So I constantly am going through trying to update this stuff. You'll see here right now with Living Fossil, for example, which I don't even necessarily suggest as any kind of a high value pickup, but just if you want it, it's there. But I don't see why people are hyping this at the moment, but I've got the lowest listings there. Basically stuff we open on the channel, things we pull, what have you. I'm trying to put them up there to list to establish some seller feedback and hopefully translate that into the ability to put more money back into the channel. So just want to give a quick shout out for that. You guys check it out. If you do see Loveshack TCG, we are on there. I have to go through and update prices. I usually do it every other day. It's just a lot to keep up with, but we are on there. So if you want to support the channel, check it out. If there's anything you're interested in, let me know. And if there's something you want that's there that's not the lowest price, this is what we currently have up for sale. I'm pretty much got cleaned out over the weekend. Then send me a message and I'll see what I can do to lower that price so that you can try to grab it at the cheapest at the cheapest value available there. So that's that little sellout. But all right, for a few low-price cards, Unizombie from Battles of Legend Relentless Revenge. I was just looking at this today. It's about $1.50. I think this is an insane card that zombies will absolutely utilize forever. You know, any zombie deck is going to have ways to use this just for what it does. And for an ultra rare, you know, printing of the card, realistically, it also comes as, you know, common. It was Secrets of Eternity, and oh, I'm still on my own storefront. Common, Secrets of Eternity. It was a super rare in Secret Slayers, but I think the Ultra is where people, you know, are going to care about the highest rarity. It's just a really cheap card that does feel like it could be, you know, a couple bucks in the future, maybe $4 to $5. So if you want them, you know, I'd look to see if you can shop around combo shipping and stuff. This guy's got him 38 cents with $1 shipping, so you buy them out there or you package them up with other things, you can get a set effortlessly. Another Ultra from this Torrential Tribute. I must have missed something on this. Every copy of Torrential Tribute is up. This one's like $5 and change, but I mean, just going through quickly, even the commons are like $2, $3. I don't think this card is seeing play in anything. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I know it's an iconic card that's seen a lot of play in past formats, and it's still decent, but I don't know what the reasoning would be for the recent spike of every copy of this card, like I said, including commons, which are just, you know, weirdly like $2.50 a piece for a card that doesn't see play is a bit strange. This was a buyout last night, Empty Machine. I have no clue why. It's up to about $7 to $8. This is a card that supports Timelords, but also has this, you know, discard 1 level 10, draw 1 card built-in effect there, so it does have other uses. I do not know what spiked this. It was brought to my attention this morning, and I figured I'd pass it along. I certainly can't say go out and grab it, especially not at this price, but I don't know. It may just be one of those weird, like, Mechlord buyouts that over time people are picking that stuff up because they like them. Same with, I'm sorry, I said Mechlord, I meant Time Lord. Time Maiden is a $4 card, too. And as you know, like, Mishi on the Time Lord is $10. So it's a weird thing. I don't try to understand it too much, but I just, again, wanted to pass it along. Empty Machine did get a buyout. If you had this sitting in your bulk, maybe list them, see if you can make some sales. Or keep it for whatever reasons, you know, might come up there. Shaddoll Schism just keeps going up, man. It 42, 46. I mean, I don't get it. Like, this is almost a lock for the Megatins. I'd be very surprised if it missed out. $50. You know, the Megatins are coming in September, so yeah, I guess if you're playing in an extravaganza or a YCS event over the summer, you do have some time to wait. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the price is where you say, yeah, I gotta offload these, but I gotta imagine it's sooner rather than later on that one. This is just another one, just real quick. Invocation. Just I don't get this one. No matter what, Konami just won't print an accessible copy, and as a result, every copy keeps going up. The secret rares are 70, although those do warp. They are subject to warping, so they can end up being flagged, get you, you know, penalty kind of thing in official tournaments. Secret rare from Battles of Legends, $60. Super rares, Shadows of Valhalla, $50, and then the ultis are just to the moon at 120 plus, and that may be a moderately played. Yeah, you see them around 170. So I don't know. I think they got to do something to that engine, but some people may disagree. Another one I just wanted to point out too. I got 2 cards today that I'm like, these are cheap. Maybe pick them up. Fusion Destiny, just a really, really good card with, you know, copious quantities. If you're interested in the hero deck at all, this was definitely a card that was played at 3 in the deck. It does allow you to use your deck for fusion summoning Destiny hero monsters, so it's really, really strong and the only foil variant that it has. So it's just something to keep an eye on. Over time, I think you'll see it age well. That and Madolche Petting Ciciara. I'm going to mess that name up real bad, so I apologize in advance. This is just a neat card I've just noticed trending upwards since it came out. It's about $3, give or take, or if you combine shipping, you get it closer to $2. People love Madolche. It's a fan favorite archetype. This is an insane card. And it just looks like it's starting to move. They're starting to make sales. I had these listed at $1.50 myself on TCG Player. They sold out quickly. And that's what sort of made me look at it. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should have tried to get a little bit more or see what they were at, what have you. But no, I mean, good for those people. But yeah, definitely a card if you pulled some out of Ghost from the past. I would just look at it as a potential long-term hold because it's already starting to show some upward mobility. And finally today for the quote-unquote retro section of Ion Market, I've been looking at Legendary Collection 5Ds. It's become a ridiculous set in terms of value, even for cards that don't see a lot of play. So I was like, what could we see in this that maybe haven't gotten that insane spike. Debris Dragon does come as a secret rare in here. I would say is the mid rarity, because obviously the ultimate from Astral Pack is the highest rarity, and then there's the super rare from Turbo Pack, so you can kind of pick and choose. But the secret rare does look really nice. It is about $5, $6 if you round up, for the near mints. These are only first ed. This never got a second print run or anything, so not a terrible price. It's just a random card I'm throwing out there. If it's like, you know, you like that, you ever anticipate wanting to play some legacy formats, I think this might be a card that could go up as a result of legacy formats if people look towards plants and stuff. So just some food for thought on that. Glow Up Bulb is another one. I'll tell you, near mint first ed's about $7. This is a really nice looking variant of the card. I think obviously Ulti tops it by a long shot. I don't anticipate this card coming back anytime soon, as it's a one card needle fiber. However, if it ever did come back, certainly you can imagine this would be a high commodity version of the card, and for $6.50 you can do a lot worse. So just some food for thought. I might actually pick up a couple of these myself just to stash away. Maybe plant with the hope they'll blossom into something later. That was bad, I'm sorry. But yeah, just putting it out there. It is relatively low in quantity too, so. And then, this is a weird one, Mono Synchron, and I don't know whether or not I feel like it's good or bad. It only has this one print, so that's why it's $8. If it's used as Synchro Material, the other Synchro Material monsters must be level 4 or lower Warrior, or Machine-type monsters. They are treated as level 1 for the Synchro, so that's a really neat, like interaction to make things. I'm thinking of Speedroids, right, with the new Clearwing card, and whether or not the other support pans out. Something like this being a machine tuner. The Speedroids are also machines that are level 4 or lower, so there may be something there under the surface that could work with 1-for-1, other combos, ways to turbo out the Clearwing. I have no idea. I just thought it was interesting to note that it is a relatively low quantity card that is only this one printing behind a set that is quite literally impossible to really break into at this point. At $180 a box, everything is just through the roof with this set now, so throwing that out there. And lastly, this is just my WTF moment of the day. Bora the Spear is $50 for the Ultra. Now, I understand Bora's a great card. I understand Simo's talked up Black Wings recently, and I understand that Legendary Collection 5Ds is a high-value set. However, $50 for this card is insane. Do not pay this. Please, I ask you. Do not pay this, because this price is just, I don't know. Don't get suckered into hype on this. You can get a Bora that is just as good as that one for 29 cents. It was 21 cents in the White Dragon Abyss. I mean, it's been reprinted 100 times now. Do not pay $50 a copy for it. I understand Ultra's nice. You probably want the Ultra version, but don't pay that much. Please, do yourself a favor. That's all I ask. It's not going to be good for you. Hopefully it drops out a little bit, but that's going to be today's Ion Market. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please go ahead and like and subscribe for more, and let me know what you thought, what other cards you guys might be interested in, and I will see you next time. Ion Market.